Gamers, Cash from Grinds for Gamers here, back with another recipe. This time we're going to do a recipe that kind of commemorates a trip my wife and I recently took to New Orleans. We had an absolutely amazing time down there, and one of my biggest goals while I was down there was to try all the food. Well, not all the food, but a good amount of the food. And one of my favorite recipes of all time is jambalaya. So today what I figured we'd do is we would make a crock pot jambalaya that is completely healthy for you. So yes, there's some things that we are going to substitute in. What's the big difference? The red beans and rice, because normally it's served over a bed of some type of a rice. I thought I'd throw in the red beans and rice because it's such a staple in the South. How are we gonna do our rice? Well, you guys may have heard me talk about it before, but we're gonna do our rice with cauliflower. What? So how does that work? Basically, I'm gonna steam the cauliflower first, and I'll show you guys a trick for mashing it up. Then we can add the red beans in and some spices, and that's gonna be the bed that we actually lay this on. But you can see behind me, whoop, I've already got the crock pot warming. So we're gonna actually take all these ingredients that I've already had cut up, we're gonna put them right into the crock pot. So it's about 7 to 8 hours on low, or about 3 to 4 hours set on high. Trust me, go with the low setting, because all the flavors and the juices, everything just mixes in there so much better. So I need to apron up. Then we're gonna get back into what actually goes into this. We're gonna talk about the ingredients. Everything's gonna go in the pot. You'll see just how easy this meal is. The only thing I'm missing here is one ingredient that I'll talk to you about in a minute, which actually makes the meal a little bit more flexible for you and your family. So stay tuned. I'm gonna apron up, then we're gonna talk about what's in Cajun jambalaya. I'm back, and I'm gowned up for safety. I'm not getting one of my favorite shirts all dirty, especially with this stuff. Accompanying me here are two of the buddies that we brought home from New Orleans. First of all, if you get an opportunity to go to New Orleans, go. And I'm not only saying that just because it's an awesome party town. I'm not a big partier, neither is my wife. The biggest thing that caught us about New Orleans was the people. Unbelievable people. Obviously touched by what happened with Katrina during those rough times that those folks went through. I am here to tell you that those were some of the coolest people I've ever met in my entire life. People that really just want to actively engage with you, and not to bag on where I live in Southern California, but it's a little more fast paced here. So if you ever get the chance to go to New Orleans, do it. It's an amazing experience. So my wife is a big collector of voodoo dolls, not a follower of voodoo, but a big collector of voodoo dolls. So we went down there specifically for that reason, believe it or not, to collect some authentic voodoo dolls. I had to bring this little dude home. He actually ends up on my desk while I'm gaming. No animals were harmed during the filming of this recipe, I swear. Somebody else did that. Sucks, I know, but he's friggin' awesome, so he's now mine. Okay, let's get into what is in this healthy version of jambalaya. Pretty much all of the standard components to this recipe, the ingredients for this recipe are the same, okay? So, what do we have here? Andouille sausage. If I'm saying andouille wrong and it's supposed to be andouille or something like that, sorry, don't flame me over it. But anyway, it's a very hearty sausage that is Cajun flavored. You can pick it up in the form of pork, in the form of chicken. Just look for it in your health food store. Actually, I got it at the regular grocery store. So, celery, red onions, red bell peppers. These, instead of going with green bell peppers for my recipe, I am using pasilla chili peppers. Give it a little bit more of a spice, and it's also just a little bit greener and a little heartier pepper. Gonna put in some jalapeno peppers. This is gonna be whether or not you guys really like it spicy. If you like it generally spicy, it does cook down in the cooker, but I use one jalapeno with that. And all of the ingredients and the amounts are gonna be posted. This is chicken. I also have some shrimp chilling in the fridge, and I'm gonna go a little different with the shrimp. I love it, my girls hate it. So I'm gonna cook that separately, and I'll show you how to do that, and then we'll put it in at the end on my plate, not the girls' plate. Okay, also have 2 minced cloves of garlic here. Okay, behind the chicken hiding is my own specialty throw together Find it on the internet anywhere you want, but I'll tell you what's in my Cajun spice right here. I have some red pepper flakes, some ground sea salt, some regular ground pepper, paprika, chili powder, and then of course, cayenne pepper. That is also optional because I like very spicy food, and this will turn out to be very spicy. Not too bad, but my daughter actually likes spicy, so she'll be fine with it. Okay, as we talked about before, this is my little microwave steamer. This is a quick trick. So if you don't have one of these, not a problem at all. Take the same amount, this is just 1 head of cauliflower. Same amount, what you want to do is boil it. You're going to boil it until it's soft, then I'll teach you the trick on how to mash it, and we're going to make red beans and rice out of this cauliflower. Okay, speaking of red beans, just a can of organic red beans right there. I drained all the snot out of it and rinsed it. Most of what you see here is either canned, diced, or crushed tomato. I actually got the diced tomato that has the fire roasted peppers in it because it gives it a little more flavor. There's 2 cans of that, 1 can of regular crushed tomatoes. This is the 2nd can of the fire roasted diced tomatoes. And then a big portion of this meal that actually makes it thicken up a little bit. And this is tomato paste. Just 1 6-ounce can will do just fine for what you have to do. Only other ingredient that I'm going to add in there you will see is a little bit of grass-fed butter or ghee. If you don't know what grass-fed butter is, it comes from a cow that was fed grass. It doesn't have any hormones, no antibiotics. It is a very pure form of fat. You guys will hear me talk about it very often because I use it like crazy in my recipes. The other thing that I use, which I will use tonight, is ghee. Ghee is spelled G-H-E-E. And what that is during the process of natural grass-fed butter being made, they scrape the top right off of that. That very top portion is called the ghee. It's clarified butter. It is about the purest form of butter that you can get. Do not be afraid of fats. That's not what's killing us. It's the dirty, gross, processed stuff that America says it's okay to eat is what's killing us. So pay close attention. I'm not the only guy saying it. I'm not some whiz-bang guy that's just coming out of nowhere saying that all this stuff works. Trust me, it works, and there's science behind it. So, with all these ingredients, let's get them in that crock pot and let's get that thing going. 7 to 8 hours. Whew. We got some time, and the kid's gonna come home, and I'm not gonna have dinner ready, and I'm gonna hear about it from both of my girls. So let's get that stuff inside the pot, and then we're gonna finish it up. Sometimes I don't know what I'm saying. I just say stuff, so let's put stuff in the pot. Okay, so 7 hours later, you can see this guy is just about there. So what we're gonna do next, just give it a quick stir. I've already taken a little taste. It's got a little bit of spice to it. It's actually really tasty. So next what we're gonna do, we're gonna let this thing go for a little bit longer while we are preparing our red beans and rice and our shrimp. Once that's all done, we'll put all this stuff together and we're gonna have a meal. Okay, so I admit it, I'm a little bit of a cheater. Some nights when I got a little girl home, I got my wife at work, trying to fix a meal and get her homework done, it's a little bit difficult, so I look for some shortcuts. So one of the shortcuts I found was this little guy right here. It's made by Pampered Chef. It is basically a microwave steamer. And you can see what I did with my cauliflower. Once I got it out, things ready to go. Perfect, saved me a little bit of time. Let's get going with it. Red beans and rice with cauliflower. So here we go. This stuff is all steamed up, it's ready to go. What we're gonna do is take some Kerrygold butter, some of my favorite butter right there, and we're gonna lump it right in there, just like that. It's gonna get mixed in there. We're gonna use a little bit of my special Cajun blend of spices. Drop those in there, just a little sprinkle. We're gonna use a potato masher. Get in there real good, mash it up, and before you know it, you're gonna have a rice-like consistency. You can already see right there how a little bit of that is breaking up real good. I use this as a bed for all kinds of different dishes. I use it for Thai dishes. I use it as a side itself. Can mix it with broccoli. You can mix it with sweet potatoes. There's all kinds of different things that you can mix this with. So just keep mixing it in there. You can use a spoon, but the goal is to get all these little pieces mashed up. Okay, so here's where our ghee comes in. I got a hot pan going right here, and we are going to do just a little bit of cooking, a little bit of extra cooking with the cauliflower. And what this is gonna do, this will add like a nice little brown edge to it. So I'm just gonna get just a bit of this ghee, and we're gonna put it down just for a little coat inside the pan. And you can see this stuff is just super clear. It's very clarified butter, very healthy fat source. So that thing's on there. We're gonna grab this stuff. This is the cauliflower rice mix. Drop it right in there. And then to this, we've already spiced it up a little bit. If you want some more spice, you can throw it in there. Now you're just gonna add our red beans. So this basically, we're just gonna let this go for a bit. And this is going to be the paleo version or the non-grain version of red beans and rice. We're gonna serve our jambalaya right on the top of this. I know we went with beans. Normally, beans are not paleo, and the reason being is because they have some anti-nutrients in it that can cause some inflammation. But hey, look, you gotta live a little bit. So we're gonna have red beans tonight. We can consider that just a little bit of a cheat, but not that much of one. Beans really isn't a deal breaker for the most part. So enjoy yourself a little bit. So we'll get this thing cooking. As soon as this is done, we're gonna cook up our shrimp and we're gonna serve up Cajun jambalaya. So you can see our red beans and cauliflower rice are done. I'm gonna pull that out of the way, and this other pot that I've had heating up here, just a regular pot with ghee. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and we're gonna throw in a little bit of garlic, and we're gonna get our shrimp going. So for the shrimp, just make sure that you're using the deveined type. I usually like to call it deturted, but this stuff has already had the tails taken off. It's already been cleaned and it's all ready to go. So we're gonna drop that right in there. Now, like I was saying, my daughter cannot stand shrimp. My wife doesn't like shrimp. So this is gonna be something that I'm gonna have on my own. If you wanna put this into the jambalaya right off the bat, feel free. All you gotta do is put it in there about 30 minutes before it's done, because this stuff cooks really, really quickly. And then once it's done, your entire meal's done. All you gotta do is pour it over the red beans and rice. But for me, I'm gonna stick it right in here, add a little bit of spice to it, a little bit of my special Cajun spice to it. And then once this is done, this is gonna be the topper. So stay tuned. Once this is done, we're gonna be building. All right, shrimp's almost done. You can see they're kind of losing the translucence, and that's really what you want. You want the translucence to be gone, and you want there to be kind of a white pinkish texture. That'll help you to gauge when your shrimp is finished. So there you have it, folks. Healthy paleo Cajun jambalaya made Cash's way. It is a great meal, lots of nutrients in it, lots of good fats in it, a quintessential meal on the Grinds for Gamers program. We got no grains, we have a majority of our complex carbohydrates we're getting from vegetables, lots of good healthy meats in there. So check out some other stuff that we have on Grinds for Gamers. We got lots of different recipes and many more coming. If you have questions about how to min-max your life, about how to make what you're eating fuel your body, or if you have questions about getting started on training, I do this because I'm giving back to my community. I want to give back to the folks at MOG. I want to give back to the folks who are interested in this stuff. So if you're interested, check us out, grindsforgamers.com. Click on the Grinds for Gamers tab. What that's going to do is take you to all my articles, all my recipes, stuff like this. It's pretty good. Remember, eat good, feel better. See you next time on Grinds for Gamers.